Maxhosa Africa made history at Paris Week this March with its stunning new collection, Lo Ngubulelo. It marks a significant moment as the brand's second consecutive season featuring in this prestigious event, proudly standing as the only African brand in the official schedule. Meanwhile, back home here in Johannesburg, the highly anticipated MXS Culture Festival, that's also set to return, celebrating the vibrant intersection of music, art, food and even fashion. It's taking place today, the 15th of March, 2025, from 11 a.m. until midnight. It's at the Toadbury Hall Country Hotel. Morning Live had the privilege to speak to Chief Creative Director Laduma Ngokolo and Morning Live producer Lunga Dlamini has more for us to enjoy.
If you could dream big, and I mean really dream big, imagine a world where African culture and heritage are celebrated globally, where traditional craftsmanship meets modern innovation, and where fashion tells stories and cultural preservation. This is the world that Laduma Ngokolo, founder of Maxhosa, is creating, a world where African excellence is showcased on the biggest stages, from Paris Fashion Week to the city of Joburg.
I am Laduma Ngokolo. I started a brand called Maxhosa Africa about 14 years ago. Basically, fashion wasn't really a thing that I always anticipated that I would fall upon. But by the means of influence from my parent to my sister, I then decided to do what is much deeper than fashion design, textile design. And later, as I studied, I then had a passion for fashion. I started the brand Maxhosa in 2010 as a thesis project at the Nelson Mandela University. The initial concept behind the brand Maxhosa Africa was to create cultural clothing regalia that Xhosa initiates would wear. As you might know, us as Xhosa people, when we are age 18, we have to go through malehood circumcision, and as part of the ritual, our parents have to buy us a new wardrobe. So for my thesis project 14 years ago, I decided to come up with new designs for Xhosa initiates. That was the base of the concept, but then I realized that there was a missing gap in the market of African luxury. So I decided to fine-tune the thesis project until I later in the years started doing women's wear, and fast forward to now, it has become a premium luxury brand. Growing up in the hood, of course, you are quite limited in your thinking on how far you can go, and often our aspirations as black people that grow up in the township are aspirations which are often unrealistic. Some of the examples of the dreams that we have is to own a private jet or a yacht. Of course, careers such as textile design are not careers that we were easily exposed to. I was lucky enough that in high school, I studied textile design and history of art. That helped me make my choice quite easy. And ultimately, I saw that my dream could be actually a reality if I follow the road less traveled. Textile is not a big industry in South Africa, of course. And in fact, for the past 3 decades, the industry has shrunk significantly. So for anyone to choose to do textiles would be the worst choice ever because of the Chinese imports that we get in South Africa. But then there's the premium and luxury industry, which still presents a lot of opportunities, because as the black middle class grows, we have an opportunity to serve that market within the continent, and one doesn't even have to go outside of Africa to succeed. Paris Fashion Week is, of course, the highest pinnacle when it comes to fashion. It is each and every designer's aspiration to showcase at Paris Fashion Week, and there's a certain caliber of brands that showcase within that platform. So when it comes to Paris Fashion Week, there's a federation that decides who showcase at what time, at what slot, and then line the brands up with other high-end brands. And to get into that lineup takes years. We have applied for a couple of years for that lineup. Last year, we were lucky enough to be officially accepted to showcase on that lineup, where you see Chanel, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, and other brands. So for the past 3 seasons, we've been showcasing our latest collections for winter and summer. And they say that Paris is the highest pinnacle, but of course there you have to showcase each and every season in order to be known. Otherwise, if you come once off and disappear, your resources were as good as waste.
Behind the glamour of the fashion world, Laduma Ngxokolo's brand remains humble. Drawing inspiration from the everyday people who wear his brand, he's not just designing for the runway, but for the average Joe who appreciates the beauty of African culture and heritage.
I'm a Xhosa man. Each and every Xhosa man at some stage has to show some form of gratitude to their ancestors. I'm a big believer of ancestral power, and I believe that Maxxosa is a brand that is co-created by my parents who have passed and their parents. This year we will be hosting Umbulelo as a family, as siblings, to say thank you to our neighbors, our patrons in South Africa, because literally every step that we've grown to has been the support that we've been receiving from our patrons that we've had for the past 14 years. Some have been around for 10 years. Some are not even from South Africa. And in fact, some of them are even flying down from New York, LA, different parts of the world to make sure that they come and experience the festival, which is the 3rd edition. So this collection is us trying to show a form of gratitude. And we've included some designs that we did about 10 years ago when the brand was at a small stage, just to bring those nostalgic moments where we had some pretty great designs, but we can't continue with them because every season customers want fresh looks, and therefore you can't really repeat the same thing over and over and over until it's oversaturated.
Laduma Ngxokolo's iconic designs rooted in Xhosa heritage are being ripped off, facing a harsh reality of counterfeiting, threatening not only his brand's identity but also the livelihoods of local artisans and the integrity of African culture.
As much as they say that counterfeits are a flattering form of compliment to brands and designers, because I am in the manufacturing and job creation space, counterfeits do have a negative effect on the bottom line when you start looking at your growth at the end of the year. Yet at the same time, it does expand the visibility and the awareness of the brand. It kills the inspiration, so to say, that that customers buy into when they go and buy a product. But nevertheless, counterfeit is a norm for each and every fashion brand that is out there. It has even gone as worse as food and alcohol. So nothing that surprised me, but quite disappointing that a lot of people in South Africa are embracing it.
From the runways of Paris to the heart of Joburg, Laduma Ngqokolo's dedication to preserving African heritage and culture through fashion does inspire. As we continue to revel in its success, we are also reminded of the heart-wrenching challenges such as counterfeiting of his brand. But with his passion and commitment, you best believe that Maxhosa will continue to thrive, cementing his place as a global fashion powerhouse.
The festival also is a showcase on how we are sustainable as Maxhosa. So we'll be showcasing our lifestyle products and our manufacturing processes as well, because we don't assume that the public knows how sustainable we are as a brand. So every year we take our time out to showcase and educate our customers about the materials that we use to make our products, the finishes that we use, and update them on the latest news that we have, and also our future aspirations as a brand.
Don't miss the ultimate celebration of African culture and fashion. The Maxhosa Culture Festival is happening today, the 15th of March, from 11 a.m. till midnight at the Toadbury Hall Country Hotel in Joburg. Enjoy live music, stunning fashion showcases, and exclusive DJ sets, plus a sneak peek at Maxhosa's latest collection. For SABC News, I'm Lunga Dlamini.